So this right here is a Polaris Slingshot, and just like the question you might be asking, I'm asking the same thing. Can this thing do a burnout, number one? Can it drift, and can it do donuts? But today's the day that we're gonna find out what this Slingshot can actually do. Now, we know that it's a comfortable driver, we know that it's a roadster, we know that it's a lot of fun, but how much fun is it really? And we're gonna put it to the test today. Let's go find out. Now, the Slingshot is a 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder with a 5-speed manual transmission. It's a GM engine and transmission, and it shifts and drives like a car. It's a manual transmission, so it has a clutch, so you should be able to dump the clutch, but it gets better than that. So if we go right here, you'll see right here is a traction control button. Now, unlike the Can-Am Spyder, the Can-Am Spyder is so restricted, it is so dumbed down. Now, there's a lot of potential, but they won't let you unleash it. The Slingshot, I think, will. So you can see right here, this giant wide tire on an 18-inch wheel. This is a 265/35 Z-rated 18-inch tire. A lot of meat, racing tire, but shouldn't have a problem spinning. Now, I own a drift car. You might have seen my videos from my Nissan 240SX with the LS1 swap. All stripped down. That is my drift car. My brother and I have been doing it for years until I had kids and they kind of took over with. So I would say that I'm somewhat of an all right burner outer. I can do donuts. I can do burnouts. I can spin around corners pretty well. So I kind of know what I'm doing, not that I'm a professional. So I'm really gonna put this thing to the test and see what it can do. So this thing is technically a motorcycle, but it drives like a car. 5-speed, standard gearbox, full circle steering wheel, handbrake, emergency brake. So technically I can rip the handbrake and spin this thing around. Now, it has about 173 horsepower in a 1,700-pound car, which is extremely light, but it gets even better than that. All that power goes to one single wheel on a monoshock suspension. So it's belt drive to one single wide tire. So we really shouldn't have a problem at all getting this thing to rip around a corner. The question really is, will it just spin around or will it track the front wheels? And from everything I've read, the rear wheel follows the fronts without spinning around. And I'm really curious to see if that's true. So the first thing we're gonna try out is obviously a burnout. I'm just gonna pop the clutch and see how many gears I can get it to spin through. Will it spin from first to second? Will it just chirp into second? Or will it actually do a burnout? Now, I don't wanna do a brake stand because I really like this thing and I don't wanna cook the tires completely. Now, this is my own property in an industrial park. It's zoned for business, so before anybody even says anything about how dare you do that on public property, this is my own piece of property that I'm doing burnouts on. That right there is about a 25-foot strip. All right, I'd say we put that to the test. First gear into second gear. I could have got third gear if I wanted to, but I was heading into some parked cars. Test number 2, the infamous donut. Can it do donuts, and if so, how many? Let's just see if I can do it right ways too. So lefty was no problem, but even with the traction control, righty donuts, I noticed the traction control was still kicking on. Now, I wonder if it's because the monoshock is on the passenger side, if the belt is on the passenger side, I'm really not sure. Well, here's the last and final question. Can it drift? Now, we know that it'll do burnouts. We know that it'll do donuts. Will it drift around a turn? Will it spin out? Or what? What's up with this thing with the one rear wheel? So I tried twice, and both times the traction control kicked in. It would not let me drift around a corner. So even with the traction control off, it's still slightly restricted. So if you're ever thinking about buying these things and turning it into a drift car, not gonna happen. But it does make some nice donuts in a parking lot. Now, once again, this is all done on a closed course. This is done on my own personal property, so be sure not to break any laws and do this on public roads. But Do make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flying Wheels. Give me a thumbs up if this video was at all interesting. See you later and adios.